I'll come back to that. I have to have that up. Now, some of you may remember, actually, I'll use it right now. As you can see, G4 TV is being shut down. Only, or has been shut down, whatever. Only a year after relaunch. I talked about this one night, maybe a month ago now. I'm not sure. This is from Kotaku.com. And I read through this article, right? And a month after suffering a number of key layoffs and departures, the ill-fated attempt to reboot the 2000s gaming channel G4 TV is over, with its owners announcing they'll be shutting down the network, or shutting the network down. Okay, now you read this entire article, and you'll find that they talk about, key layoffs and departures. They talk about declining viewership. Let's see. Deadline also says a few dozen employees and contract workers are affected by the shutdown. That was all that's left at the network after a round of major layoffs took place last month. This has been in motion for a long while. One of these guys said, Pierre, he was one of the on-screen personalities, but anyway. I think here at the bottom they talk about well, they don't talk about the decline in viewership isn't really mentioned. But the one thing that is blatantly absent from this article, there is one aspect of all of this with G4 TV that is blatantly absent from this article, and the same is true here. Okay, this is Polygon. The revived G4 is shutting down. Comcast is shutting down G4, its gaming-centric cable and online channel, effective immediately. Comcast Spectator CEO Dave Scott told staff in the email. Deadline reported Sunday that Scott told employees that the revived G4 channel was being discontinued effective immediately, citing low viewership and unsustainable financial results. Okay. Citing low viewership and unsustainable financial results. Now again, if you read this entire article, there's one aspect of the entire G4 situation, the entire G4, trauma that went on, that is absent from the article, that is not mentioned from the article. And what is not mentioned is this, and personally objectionable. And here it is right here.
But I actually want to talk about something so much more important than Red Dead Online. Sexism in gaming. In joining G4...
This is not where I thought we were going, but I'm here.
I had no idea.
I'm listening. Yeah.
In joining G4, I was ecstatic to be part.
All right. I'm not going to play that whole thing again. This is from the earlier bit that I did on my Twitch page about G4 TV. This is about a month back, and I just saved the recording, of course. But this is the one thing that the article is talking about G4 shutting down. They do not mention, okay? They do not mention that she goes on. I have the whole thing up here. And I want to play this about everything she says. There's one more time. Let's see here.
I actually want to talk about something so much more important than Red Dead Online. Sexism in gaming.
All right, sexism in gaming. I did a whole bit on it. She goes on to say later in her rant that if you don't like the content of G4 TV, don't watch it. That's a quote, right? She said, if you don't like the content on G4 TV, don't watch it. Okay, what happens when you make a comment like that? What if the Return of Reckoning devs and post a forum, put up a new forum that says, hey, if you don't like the game, if you don't like what we do, then it's not made for you. Go play something else. All right. Now, some people would argue that in the life of the server, there have been people who have said as much. And I agree. In the life of the server, there have been people who have said as much. People associated with the server, with running the server. There have been some people who pretty much said that very thing, right? If you don't like it, just, go find something else to do. We don't want you here, blah, blah, blah. But that guy is no longer with the server, okay? That guy is no longer with the server. And the other people on the server, when comments like that were made, were very quick to come in and say, no, we don't want to drive off our player base. And for the most part, they tried to be diplomatic about that. And by and large, as a general rule, those who run the Return to Reckoning server have attempted to be diplomatic in dealing with the player base. Has that always been the case? No, but that is the general rule. They do attempt to be diplomatic about it. And for those of you who were here a few years back when we had the first grand question and answer session, that was a clusterfuck from the word go. You know what I'm talking about, right? And you know what happened.
All pay heed. Now enters His Holiness Torquemada, the Grand Inquisitor of the Spanish Inquisition. Torquemada, do not implore him for compassion. Torquemada, do not beg him for forgiveness. Torquemada, do not ask him for mercy. Let's face it, you can't talk him out of anything.
But this is what happens when somebody as prominent as Frosk, this woman Frosk, goes on a big rant and says, if I still have it up yet, when she goes on this big rant talking about sexism in gaming, and you're all a bunch of sexists, and she actually says in this, actually I want to play that part. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
In joining G4, every time G4 is brought up in various channels...
It's all right. It's all right. I feel that way too.
Hang on.
It's all right.
Even in this YouTube channel, we have
Listen.
the chat in front of us. I
Listen
can
to
see
this.
you.
We feel that way together, okay?
I'm making fun of her here, but listen to
Let
this.
it out.
Without a doubt, there will be backlash because I'm not as bangable as the previous host.
Okay. Now, I covered that in detail, that comment right there. I covered that in detail before when she says, I'm not as bangable as the previous host. And that's a really idiotic thing to say. Gamers want to play games. Gamers don't want to, go to a platform like G4 TV and be lectured to about how they're all a bunch of sexists and how the only reason they watch is because, they want to, to use her exact words, the only reason they watch is because they want to jerk off to whoever the host is, and she's not as pretty as the others, and all this horse shit. And so it's no wonder. I mean, to me, it makes perfect sense that G4 is shutting down, because that's exactly the goal that they wanted. When they let her get away with this, right? When they let her get away with this, because they were afraid to say anything, they sealed their own fate. All right, they sealed their own fate, and now the thing, G4 TV is gone. Okay. This is the old G4 TV. There's two more things I want to talk about in context of this, because I want to illustrate, she's all upset. She's all upset because of sexism in gaming, and because she feels women are objectified and good-looking women are something to be, ashamed of, or you can't appreciate a good-looking woman. We can't have that here. We can't have a good-looking woman on TV so that the gamers will tune in and see somebody they actually want to look at, right? We can't have all that. We have to, call out the gamers and call them all a bunch of sexists and all this other horse shit. And then the result of which is we destroy ourselves. Okay, everybody loses their job. The whole thing's shut down. But yay, power to the people or whatever. And it's just insane. It's just sheer insanity. But this is the old G4 TV. This is what, in the early 2000s, the old G4 TV was on, 2004 to 2012 or something like that. And this is Olivia Munn, who would later go on to star in the X-Men movies. This was one of the skits that she did.
Some women like to change up a couple times a day, depending on how much juice you have down there. A lot of people, I am a juicier person.
Every day is a heavy flow day for you.
Yeah, so I think a couple people out there notice. I actually change up my panties during around the net probably almost every day. Actually,
I've never noticed
hold
that.
on.
Oh.
Yeah, it just came out again. Sorry.
Jeez.
I just have to.
Do we need a Swiffer? What do we need?
Let me just get it out.
You're doing the washing machine, or what are you doing?
Let me just. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Just throw that over there.
Oh.
I don't know.
Well, that is a pile of Craigslist gold if I've ever seen one.
I don't know. Smell it. It's like
That's like 12 iPhones worth.
12 iPhones. That's a lot of money.
Now that little bit right there is humorous. It is humorous because Olivia Munn here is not only playing into the mindset of their audience. This is known as playing to the audience, right? This is known as giving the audience what they want. She knows, and the people who ran G4 TV before knew, that gamers were, by and large, in a large percentage, right, gamers were male. And the vast majority of males like what? The vast majority of, not, I'm not, okay, fuck all that stuff I'm supposed to say. All this stuff, the vast majority of males like women. And the vast majority of them like to look at beautiful women. Is that wrong? No, I don't think so. And I'm not going to apologize for it, right? The fact that I might look at a woman and think she's pretty, if anybody has a problem with that, then you've got a problem. I don't, as I talked about before when this subject came up, there's a world of difference, okay? There's a tremendous difference in thinking a woman is attractive and wanting to have sex with her. There's a huge difference between those two things. I think Olivia Munn is attractive. I don't want to have sex with her. I could give a shit less when it comes to that, but I think she's attractive, okay? So when she does something like this...
Throw that over there.
All right, Olivia's panty pile. That's called playing to your audience, okay? It creates a fantasy that gamers want to indulge in the fact that there's an attractive woman who is willing to make fun of the fact, to use the fact that she is attractive to to give the audience what they want, okay? And here we have someone who for some reason can't just, couldn't be happy. Frosk here could not be happy with just being part of the new G4 TV, of being a celebrity on G4 TV, of being paid money to talk about video games. I mean, give me a fucking break. I would, I do all this Twitch stuff because I enjoy it. I do all this Twitch stuff because, okay, I don't have subscriptions enabled. I don't charge people to watch my Twitch page because, to me, the kind of money that I would make off of Twitch isn't worth the effort. Besides, it would take a lot of the fun out of it. It would actually take a lot of the fun out of it if I started, trying to charge people to watch my Twitch page. So I don't do it. But the thought of being paid a six-figure salary to go on TV and talk about fucking video games, I would be ecstatic with that. I would be happy. I would be, but she couldn't. Frost could not be happy with being in that position. She had to attack the very people that the show was made for. She had to attack the very people that the G4 program was revived to cater to. She had to get all mad because somebody said in the Twitch chat or whatever, YouTube chat or whatever, whatever they were broadcasting on, somebody said something like, "You're not as pretty as Olivia Munn. Bring Olivia Munn back," or whoever the other women on the old G4 TV. And she got all mad about it, so she had to go after the go after the audience and call them a bunch of sexists. And again, here we go. G4 TV is being shut. Played the network due to horrifically time Indiana Frost Black, the social justice advocate and ultra feminist that insulted fans and viewers of the gaming tech network G4 TV, was finally fired after layoffs plagued the network due to horrifically low viewership thanks to her actions. Okay, now this line right here is what's missing from this article on Polygon and from this article on Kotaku and most of the other articles I pulled up. These two articles talk about the fact that they had to lay off people and there was a declining viewership, but they neglected, both of them and the others I looked up, they all neglected to say why. The writer for the Red State article says why. Because Frost went on and insulted the viewership. She insulted the viewership and said, "Look, stop." And she actually said, this was what I found so amazing. She actually says on here, you know, and I have it on the tape, but she actually says that the people, that the gamers were sitting at their computers or whatever, jerking off to her. Give me a break, okay? Give me a break. Can you? I mean, seriously, she's all upset because of a fantasy that she's created in her head. Gamers sitting at the computer jerking off while she's talking about video games. Okay, sister, that's not how it works, all right? That is just, you know, when something like this was going on the OG4 TV with Olivia's panty pile, I don't know that many people who, yeah, that's not why, that wasn't the point of this. So that people could sit at the computer and jerk off to an image of Olivia Munn throwing her panties across, or doing the trouble shuffle. I haven't watched this one, so hey, let's just watch this for a moment.
I don't want to do it.
Do it.
No, I told you I didn't want to do it.
it.
You really have to
Everybody
do it.
wants it. Do the truffle shuffle. Come on. Do it. Do a little truffle shuffle. Oh, that'll be great. We'll make little gifs of it. Oh.
Okay, that's cute. You know, that's cute. She pulls her shirt up a little bit, shows her belly button, and dances around. But that's not exactly, how can I say this? That's not exactly quite that stimulating, if you know what I'm saying. It's not, you know, it's not the kind of stuff that, it's funny, it's cute, she's attractive, blah, blah, blah. But this is not this is the kind of stuff that makes people just want to watch the show because it's fun. Okay? It's fun. But it isn't sexism in the sense that guys are watching this just so they can jerk off to a host on G4 TV. And all of this is so silly. But again, one more point, Frost thing. Where is it? Here we go. Now, I've often talked about satire on the forums. I've often employed satire in dealing with certain issues on the forum. Satire is a wonderful tool. Satire is incredibly funny when properly employed. And I want to show just a minute or two of this because this is Nerdrotic and Gothics. I subscribe to Gothics because she talks about all kinds of stuff. And she's a very intelligent woman, but she talks about a lot of political stuff too. But anyway, some of these other guys I don't know, but they're all YouTubers, right? And so what they did one day was after this rant, at some point after this rant went viral, so to speak, these guys got together and brought and did this. Now the woman in the middle that's listed here is Frosk, who's made up to look like her. It's not actually her, okay? I don't know who this is, but she's just doing an impersonation. But listen to a couple minutes of this.
Friday Night Tights, you're about to get frostbitten.
Oh no.
Get him!
I'm really tired of all the sexism everywhere. Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride. All you geeks and gamers better stop jerking off to me, okay? I smell like burnt hair and patchouli. That isn't stopping you. I talk to you like you're retarded because I think you're all retarded. I see the chat. I see you in the chat. Hit an F right now if you're jerking off to your girl. I'll wait.
Weird. Wait. Look, go, Frost! You go, Frost! You go, Frost!
All right, now what these other guys are doing with the clapping is they're making fun of, let's see. Again, this is great stuff. They're making fun of, I have to play a little bit of this.
It's some.
The guy on the TV. Just a little. I got a couple. And I'm gonna. They are employing mockery. All right. There's mockery. There's satire as forms of insult and criticism. Right. So they're all employing satire. The impersonist here most effectively. But these guys are all employing mockery. They're making fun of the guy who clapped like a seal when Frost went off on her epic rant, about sexism in gaming. And let's see, and it's funny, it's effective, it's funny, and it's effective, and it's the kind of stuff that needs to happen more. All right.
Now press F. Now press F if you're not jerking off to me. See? Why are you guys all so obsessed with jerking off and also not jerking off? You're erotic. Have you ever jerked off to me?
Not today.
Why not? Is it because I don't look like I'm not as bangable as Olivia Munn?
All right. Now I'm going to stop it there because you get the idea, right? But whoever the impersonationist is here, she's doing a marvelous job. She's doing a truly marvelous job of satirizing and mocking Indiana Frost, and talking about, she goes through all of them. She asks, I watched this, she asks Gothix here in a minute if Gothix has ever jerked off to her. Well, see, that level of humor is something that you don't see because that often, because what is funny about the fact, and I'm not going to answer this, I'm going to leave this to you to decipher by yourself. But why is it effective humor that this woman impersonating Frost asks another woman if she's jerked off to her? Okay. It's subtle. It's subtle satire, but it's effective. And she goes around the horn here and asks all of them. And this is good stuff, and it's what I think the gaming community needs more of this. Certainly the gaming community at large needs more of this than it does of this. So G4 TV is shut down, and good riddance is all I can say. Oh yeah, right. I'm sorry. I made this meme. I'm sorry. I didn't make this meme. I posted this meme. I posted it in a Return of Reckoning form, and Wargrinder took it down. So, but I think it's an effective meme where Frost shoots G4 dead and then says, "Oh, how could sexism have done this?" This is an interesting picture. This is my daughter Katie. I've never talked about her before. Katie was the product of my marriage prior to being married to Tracy. And as I've talked about before many times, Tracy and I were married for 25 years. We had, 2 beautiful